Modern Warfare 2 is a game that lives rent-free in millions of people's minds, and just as much in the hearts of the same demographic of people. This game was a generational success, and although COD 4 got the ball rolling, I believe that Modern Warfare 2 isn't only the best sequel in gaming history, but the best Call of Duty campaign storyline of all time. Some may think that take is controversial, but if you give me a few minutes of your time, I can explain how Infinity Ward put on an absolute masterclass of first-person narrative storytelling, and hopefully I can change your mind. I won't waste your time, so let's get into it. To understand the Modern Warfare 2 dynamic, we have to first take a look at a few things from COD 4 Modern Warfare. Because in order to really take in the depth of the storytelling here, you gotta have the context behind it. So, throughout the campaign of COD 4, you not only meet some of the most beloved cast members in the series, including Gaz, Soap, Price, Captain McMillan, and Nikolai, but you also are placed in a setting of a world in which the infamous Imran Zakhaev is leading a civil war in Russia to restore the old Soviet Union. Zakhaev knew that if things escalated more in Russia, the United States would play their hand to prevent the regime from taking place. So, he did the one thing that gets America all hot and ready like a Little Caesar's pizza, and started a coup in the Middle East. As the coup overtook the government of the intentionally unnamed country within the game, America became distracted and immediately stepped in. But what they didn't know was that they were stepping into the most humiliating trap in US history, at least in the Modern Warfare universe. As you storm the capital city as the United States Marine Force in search of Imran Zakhaev's coup leader Khalid al-Assad, you face extreme counterattacks from insurgent forces, and as you begin exiting the area, one of your own birds gets taken down. You rescue the pilot and begin leaving. Over the radio, you can hear a warning of an imminent threat of a nuclear detonation. Until everything goes silent, a mushroom cloud towers over you, and a little piece of the sun blinds you as your chopper tries to escape the blast radius. In the end, you fail, and in the next mission, you walk through the death of not only your character, but the entire force of Marines that deployed with you. 30,000 men gone in the blink of an eye. Fast forward to the end of COD 4, where Zakhaev launches nuclear missiles towards the United States. Captain Price, Soap, and Gaz stop the launch and corner Zakhaev on a collapsed bridge. In one of the most iconic endings of all time, Price slides his pistol to you as you watch Zakhaev execute Gaz. You return the favor by ending Imran Zakhaev's reign over Russia. Now, COD 4 was a phenomenal game, but more so, it was a setup of one of the most iconic and exciting follow-ups in gaming history. Infinity Ward knocked it out of the park with Modern Warfare 2. Subplots and all, Modern Warfare 2 took everything great from the story of COD 4 and expanded on it in ways that were believable and genius at the same time. The chaos of Modern Warfare 2 stems from the two events in COD 4 that I mentioned. Imran Zakhaev's death never brought an end to the war, but only stoked the flames into something much bigger. The nuclear detonation that ended the lives of 30,000 Marines was not only a huge plot point in Modern Warfare 2, but a guilty and lethal obsession. Let's dive into it.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Boundaries shift, new players step in, but power always finds a place to rest its head. We fought and bled alongside the Russians. We should have known they'd hate us for it. History is written by the victor, and here I am thinking we'd won. But you bring down one enemy and they find someone even worse to replace him. Locations change, the rationale, the objective. Yesterday's enemies are today's recruits. Train them to fight alongside you, and pray they don't eventually decide to hate you for it too. Same shit, different day. You know what I'm looking for, Sergeant Foley. Keep your eyes open.
Got a new batch hitting the pit today, sir. I'll send you the best I find.
Modern Warfare 2's story starts with Private First Class Joseph Allen located in Firebase Phoenix in Afghanistan. The first mission has you training Afghan National Army recruits on basic rifle mechanics. Shortly after this, Allen is sent to what is referred to as the Pit, which just serves the same purpose as F&G from COD 4, but what is so masterful about this tutorial level is that it is very significant in the storyline. It is made clear in the first cutscene of the game that Shepard is looking for the finest soldier for a special operation, so the pit serves as a testing ground for just that. You play out the pit and you are bombarded with sirens as wounded soldiers roll into the base.
We are the most powerful military force in the history of man. Every fight is our fight. Because what happens over here matters over there. We don't get to sit one out. Learning to use the tools of modern warfare is the difference between the prospering of your people and utter destruction. We can't give you freedom, but we can give you the know-how to acquire it. And that, my friends, is worth more than a whole army base of steel. Sure, it matters who's got the biggest stick, but it matters a hell of a lot more who's swinging it. This is a time for heroes, a time for legends. History is written by the victors. Let's get to work.
Team Player, the first real mission in Modern Warfare 2, features the player character Private Allen alongside other Army Rangers fighting through an insurgent-controlled area of Afghanistan. In this mission, after finishing the first phase, you get a dialogue break that is super important to remember and becomes an unfortunate theme for the story.
Hey, isn't this danger close for the task force? This is pretty Shepard killed all danger close.
After Private Allen and the rest of the Rangers fight through the urban landscape riddled with insurgents, the squad is picked up by none other than General Shepard, who mentions that Private Allen will be taking orders from him now, seemingly signifying that Allen was the selected candidate for the currently unknown operation.
So how do I look?
Like one of the bad guys. Perfect for your undercover assignment.
So Makarov is the prize.
Makarov's no prize. He's a whore, a mad dog killer for the highest bidder. Just remember your new identity. It'll keep you alive. Welcome to the 141. Best hand-picked group of warriors on the planet.
It's an honor, sir. When do I meet the rest of the team?
They're on a mission recovering a downed ACS module behind enemy lines.
Their feet wet?
Imagine they're just about freezing right now.
In the first installment of the 141 timeline, Cliffhanger, you are reintroduced to now Captain John Soap McTavish, the same guy you played as in COD 4 and the same guy who ended Imran Zakayev's life. You accompany him as Sergeant Gary Roach Sanderson. Roach, your new playable character, is the newest member of the newly created Elite Task Force 141, hand-selected from the SAS to join the team operating directly under the command of Soap. He is later described by Soap as raw, skilled, and loyal to a fault. The lore of Roach actually goes way deeper than meets the eye, but for today's video we will gloss over it and move on. If you are interested in a Roach backstory video, let me know in the comments, but anyways, let's continue. Roach and Soap raid a Russian airbase in Kazakhstan, retrieving a United States ACS module, containing codes to U.S. defense satellites meant to detect foreign attacks and prevent them. Both Soap and Roach complete their mission and complete the most impossible and totally absurd jump imaginable across a ravine to reach their exfil and leave the area with the ACS module.
The rest of Task Force 141 brought in the ACS, Allen. 2 men took down an entire base. I ask much more from you now. Yesterday you were a soldier on the front lines, but today, front lines are history. Uniforms are relics. The war rages everywhere, and there will be casualties. This man, Makarov, is fighting his own war and he has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at torture, human trafficking, or genocide. He's not loyal to a flag or a country or any set of ideals. He trades blood for money. He's your new best friend. You don't want to know what it's cost already to put you next to him. It will cost you a piece of yourself. It will cost nothing compared to everything you'll save.
Now, back in the shoes of Private Allen, you are told you will be an undercover operative under the name Alexei Borodin. You are tasked with taking orders from Makarov, but in the most gut-wrenching turn of events, Makarov and his men are ordered to gun down the entire civilian population of a Russian airport. Now, you might be thinking, or at least I hope you're thinking, why the hell would the Russian guy want to mass kill Russians in a Russian airport named after his former Russian leader? Well, we quickly learned that this entire operation was a setup. Private Allen was sacrificed under the guise of a CIA operation to get close to Makarov. Makarov knew the entire time that Allen was not Russian, so he mass murdered an entire airport and left Allen's body behind to be identified as American. This pinned the blame on America and officially kicked off a war between Russia and the US.
The Russians ain't gonna let this massacre go unanswered. It's gonna get bloody.
Too right, mate. Now in the eyes of the world, they're the victims. No one's gonna say a word when the Russians club every American they can reach.
Makarov was one move ahead. Now he's left thousands of bodies at the feet of an American.
We're the only ones who know it was Makarov's up. Our credibility died with Allen. We need proof.
Follow the shell. Alejandro Rojas.
Never heard of him, sir.
You know him as Alex the Red. He supplied the assault.
One bullet to unleash the fury of a whole nation. Which means that
He's our ticket to Makarov.
Next, we are back in the boots of Roach and the mission Takedown, where we are searching for a guy named Alex Rojas, nicknamed Alex the Red. Alex is reportedly a main supplier of ammunition to Makarov and his men, as discovered by the bullet casings found at the Zakhaev International Airport. 141 tracks Alex down by trailing a potential deal with his right-hand man named Faustino. During the deal, Faustino draws a weapon and murders the men that exit the van, quickly turning his aim towards you and your driver, who sadly doesn't make it. You chase him through the streets of Brazil, and finally shoot him in the leg. Ghost and Soap stay behind to interrogate him, while the rest of the crew, including Roach, push through the favela to locate and apprehend Alex Rojas. Roach chases Rojas through the rooftops and alleyways of the crowded Brazilian favela, and finally, as Roach corners him, Soap tackles him, securing the target and ending the mission.
San Bravo, we're reading 70 bogeys in your sector. Please verify.
Very funny, Station. That's a big negative, over.
Yeah, might be a glitch in one of the ACS modules.
San Bravo, be advised, running diagnostics to scan for malfunction.
The skies are clear, Station. You've got yourself some phantom dots. Over.
Zulu X-Ray 6, signs in your sector of some 100 bogeys. Please advise.
Negatory, Station. Scope is clear. I don't know what to tell you. Solar interference, heavy sunspot activity today.
Sierra Delta, we may have a minor ACS fault here. Do you have anything on your scope? Sierra Delta, repeat.
I'm looking at fighter jets over I-95! How the hell did they get through?
Stand by, attempting to contact the nearest unit in that sector.
I read you. This is 1st Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. Sergeant Foley, acting commander of Hunter 2-1. Do you copy? Over.
All stations be advised. Satellite surveillance has been disabled. SOSUS and paid rays are inoperative at this time.
Act 2 begins in a panic, with a few details that most players may have missed here, so we will cover it all really fast. Wolverines is a mission that takes place directly in consequence to the mission's cliffhanger and no Russian. In Cliffhanger, when Roach and Soap reacquire the stolen United States ACS module, they thought the ACS module was not decrypted yet, and that they saved the defense satellites from being hacked. You find out in the beginning cutscene of Wolverines that this was not true. The Russians cracked the ACS before Roach and Soap were able to reacquire it, leaving the United States defenses vulnerable to attacks. The mission No Russian forced the Russians to respond to what they believed was a United States-endorsed terrorist attack, so they began a full-scale invasion of the east coast of the United States. In Wolverines, you play as Private James Ramirez under the command of Sergeant Foley alongside Corporal Dunn. The squad fights as Russian paratroopers overwhelm the streets of northeast Virginia with heavy weaponry, air support, and ground troops. Although very unlikely today, this mission holds a lot of environmental weight to it. Fighting through the streets of an American neighborhood against a foreign invader is a powerful set piece, and leaves me just a little bit emotional every time I play it. It drives home the cost of war, the sacrifice of citizens, land, and resources in a desperate attempt to protect yourself.
We're sorry. All lines are busy at the moment. Please hang up and try your call again later.
I can't get anyone on the home.
War has been brought to the shores of the United States.
Troops already stretched to the growing point. Scattered all over the world.
The Russians must have copied the ACS module. Got the key to every lock in America.
And they're killing 1,000 Americans for every dead civilian in Moscow. Looks like we're all out of friends.
I know a guy. Let's find a payphone, if they still exist.
All we got out of Rojas is that the only guy Makarov hates worse than Americans is locked up in a gulag.
That's all we've got. If this con's the bait to catch that psychopath, let's hang him from a tree.
Now, back in Brazil, you begin where you left off in Takedown. During the invasion of the United States, Ghost and Soap interrogate Rojas, extracting information of a high-value prisoner in the Russian gulag. In the mission The Hornet's Nest, you fight through waves of combatants to an exfil point where Nikolai is set to pick you up. But on your way, Roach miscalculates the jump from rooftop to rooftop and ends up unarmed and defenseless, forced to run through bullets as he runs to the helicopter, only barely making it to survive the attack.
Where to, my friend? Just get us to the summer.
Someone turn off that damn TV. My task force is out of the country. I'm commandeering your unit, Sergeant Foley.
Yes, sir. All yours, sir.
I've requisitioned a striker from the 8th Armored.
Honey Badger's a mean bitch, sir.
She'll walk you in. The Russians are burning through our defenses and our intel. Can't let them take this corner.
Just point it out on the map, sir. They won't take it.
Back on the homeland United States, Exodus places you back in the action as James Ramirez once again, in a continued effort to fend off the Russian invasion. In this mission, you fight through the streets of Virginia to secure high-value targets in the area. Upon reaching a designated target under the orders of Overlord, presumably from Shepard himself, you find that the target has been eliminated with a body of seemingly one of Makarov's men dead outside the room. You secure the documents in the briefcase next to the body, and the mission comes to an end.
Seems we're headed the wrong direction, sir. Shouldn't we be coming back to the fight?
Plenty of fight to go around, McTavish. Glad you made it out of South America. You're meeting up with the 6th Fleet, leading the counterstrike. Prisoner 627. We believe that's who Makarov's got the mad on for, but we can't get to him.
Oil rigs, sir?
Russians are using them as SAM sites. Oil workers are human shields, so we can't just blow up the rigs wholesale. And this one is the least defended. Boys, I know I'm sending you into the meat grinder on this one.
They're defending it, so it means we want it. Especially if it gets us to 627.
Back with the 141, after extracting information from Alex Rojas of prisoner 627 in the Russian Gulag, the team moves to secure hostages near the Gulag on an oil rig in the Barents Sea. The only easy day was yesterday, is a mission introducing you to Modern Warfare 2's breaching mechanics as you fight through Russian forces protecting the rig. You clear out the rig to make it safe for Marine forces to take control of the area and extract via helicopter.
Sixth Fleet's mopping up. Time to move in. Long history of this building. Not much of it pretty. It started out as a castle with an actual dungeon, built to withstand any siege. The building survived every brutal winter. The occupants, they weren't so lucky. The monastery didn't survive the purges. Over the last century, it's played host to anyone the government didn't want but couldn't kill. The place is filled with living casualties of the last war, which I swear I thought we'd won. And I suppose it's all a day at the races. You back the losing horse and this is where you end up. 627's the piece of meat Makarov wants, so let's cut him loose.
Immediately after that, Soap, Ghost, and Roach head directly for the Gulag in search of Prisoner 627. You fight through Gulag levels of security to reach Prisoner 627. On your way, danger close airstrikes begin taking effect on the Gulag while 141 is still inside, triggering Soap to angrily inquire with Shepard.
The Navy isn't in a talking mood right now. Stand by.
You reach 627 after breaching your way through a few walls, fighting Russian security forces once again to find out that Price was never dead, but a prisoner of the Russian Gulag for the past 5 years after the events of COD 4. Soap hands Price the pistol that ended Imran Zakhaev's life, but the moment was short-lived because the Navy begins an early bombardment of the Gulag before 141 could successfully extract. This is another example of a possible sabotage from General Shepard, as he seems to not care that the Navy begins early, and basically tells 141 to go fuck themselves when asking for them to stop. Luckily, however, they shoot signal flares out of a hole in the ceiling and get ripcorded out of the facility seconds before the blast would have killed the whole team. Back in the mainland United States, in Washington, D.C., you begin in a bunker near the Department of Commerce, walking through your wounded and intelligent soldiers as you rally up with Foley and Dunn to begin an assault to secure the Department of Commerce. You fight up to the top floor and use a 50 cal rifle to fend off Javelin missile troops far outside of the combat area, and take down Russian air support with your very own Javelins. The squad extracts via helicopter, and you take out numerous Russian troops with the mounted minigun before getting shot down by enemy RPG fire, plummeting to the ground. The mission ends on a slight cliffhanger as the squad makes a last stand with no ammo left, and Ramirez stuck in the helicopter.
Uplink nearly complete. General Shepard, you're online with Captain Price.
Back from the brink, Captain.
Out of the frying pan is more like it. This world looks more like hell than the one I just left.
We thought we'd recovered the ACS before the Russians could crack it. We were wrong. Then Makarov turned the US into his scapegoat. Next thing you know, there's flames everywhere. What's this image you're sending me?
You want to put out an oil fire, sir? You set off a bigger explosion right next to it. Sucks away the oxygen, snuffs the flame.
Price, you've been locked away too long. Better get your mind right, son.
Shepard, are you willing to do what is necessary to win?
Always.
We got ourselves a pretty big fire. Gonna need a huge bang.
You've been in the gulag too long, Price. Focus on taking out Makarov.
No time, sir. We need to end this war today.
I'm not asking you, Price. This is an order. You're to...
Looks like we lost our connection.
Now with Price back in the action in Russia, 141 is tasked with preventing the launch of a Russian EMP towards the mainland US. Price and Roach push through patrols of Russian soldiers together while performing stealth tactics to reach the rest of 141 in a small neighborhood area outside the submarine base. 141 pushes into the base, fighting to secure it, but Price, having other plans of using the EMP to prevent further loss to the Russians, decides to launch the EMP anyway, against the orders of Shepard.
Gentlemen, the missiles vector puts it en route to the East Coast. We will lose the White House.
We've rebuilt it before. We'll rebuild it again.
Casualties?
Possibly 30 to 50,000. Depends on the exact location of the detonation. All systems will go down.
General Shepard, he warned us. We should have listened.
When they speak of this moment, we will not be the ones who stood guard while America died. One man is responsible for all this. Makarov must be brought to light.
Whatever you need, General. We've got a blank check.
Now, for my personal favorite mission in the game and the climax of the story, Second Son brings you back to the cliffhanger from Of Their Own Accord. You are fighting against Russian forces closing in on your crash, but as you're blinded by the light of a Russian helicopter, your point of view is transferred to an ISS astronaut witnessing the trajectory of the EMP heading towards the US. As it goes off, the blast wave takes out the ISS, and you're transferred back to the point of view of James Ramirez, watching the blast take out all electronics in the area, bringing down helicopters around you as you try to reach shelter. Ramirez and the team push through darkness as another ranger informs the squad to head towards Whiskey Hotel, or the White House, to meet up with more rangers. The team pushes towards an underground tunnel leading toward the White House, ending the mission. With no pause other than a loading screen between the missions, Whiskey Hotel begins as you push through the tunnel and are met with a scene like no other. The White House is in shambles. The Russians have every advantage imaginable: high ground, shelter, and power to communicate. With the Rangers still completely in the dark, they fight through a hellish landscape to take back the White House. As you push through the White House, you overhear radio chatter indicating that Hammer Down Protocol is in effect. Hammer Down Protocol, for those that don't know, is a protocol that means that Allied forces have lost their defensive positions, such as the White House and other high-value buildings. Hammer Down is a warning to evacuate the area, as the Navy is about to level the city with every bomb in their arsenal to basically put a tourniquet on the loss of ground to the Russians. In the radio transmission, they give an abort countersign to prevent the bombing of active Allied fighters. You must present a green flare on the roof of the building you occupy. The squad races to the top of the White House and deploy green flares just in time to prevent Hammer Down Protocol. In the distance, you see other green flares indicating that Price's plan had worked to keep the Russian forces at bay. Multiple green flares show that multiple Ranger teams had survived and managed to give the countersign.
When are we going to Moscow? Not soon enough, man. I know we're gonna burn it down when we get there.
When the time is right, Corporal. When the time is right.
It's been a tough week, gentlemen. We've lost more than we ever dreamed, but we will recover. I've got a blank check, and we're going to use every cent of it killing Makarov. Despite what the world may say, we are not savages. We don't kill civilians. We use precision. There's an evil man hiding in these shadows, and we're going to bring him into the light. Once his face is revealed, we will write history, gentlemen. These are the last safe havens left on Earth for Makarov and his men.
Sounds like we gotta be in two places at once.
Impossible?
Not for the 141.
50-50 chance to take out Makarov, eh? Captain Price, request permission to take the safe house with Roach.
Granted. Soap and I will take the boneyard in Afghanistan.
Very well. We will cut off all avenues of escape. This ends now.
Strange. Could have sworn we ended this war yesterday.
Now, for the mission, and if you don't know what I mean by that, I'm sorry, you're about to find out. Loose Ends places you back in the shoes of the 141 assaulting a possible location Makarov could be staying on the border between Russia and the country of Georgia. Ghost, Roach, Ozone, and Scarecrow push through defenses to a cabin where intel on Makarov is plentiful. Ghost and Roach download Makarov's operation network data onto a DSM, while defending multiple waves of enemies. Once the download is complete, Roach and Ghost begin racing to an extraction point when Roach gets hit by a mortar. Ghost drags Roach to the extraction, and just when you thought you were in the clear...
Thunder 2-1. I've got red smoke in the tree line. Stand by to engage on my mark. Roger that. I have a visual on the red smoke. Standing by. Roger that. Clear hot. Ghost got
Yeah, the most brutal betrayal in storytelling. Two men who fought tooth and nail to bring down the terrorist threat of Makarov were now murdered in cold blood by their own commander in the name of ego and self-glory. This moment was foreshadowed quite a bit throughout the campaign, which is why I mentioned to remember a few of them, like when did Shepard ever care about danger close in Team Player, the Gulag mission when Shepard allowed the Navy to fire on the 141, or the setup of Private Allen to antagonize Russia into starting a war. Shepard wants to be a hero, but not just a hero, the hero. The man everyone gives credit to when America wins. His grief of the nuclear explosion consumes him, and the cost of America's former glory means the sacrifice of anything is on the table.
Roach! Ghost! Come in, Ghost! You copy? Does anyone copy?
They're dead, so. Shepard's cleaning house. I'm working my way back to you. Shepard betrayed us. Have to trust someone to be betrayed. I never did. Nikolai, come in. Do you have our location?
Da, inbound Price. But I am not the only one. You got Shepard's men on one side, Makarov's on the other.
We'll have to take them all out then.
Or let them take each other out. Either way, I'll see you on the other side, my friend.
Meanwhile, in Afghanistan, Soap and Price are attacked by Shepard's men, radioing to Ghost and Roach to not trust Shepard, but it's too late. They request immediate exfil from their location from Nikolai as they fight through the war between Shepard's private military and Russian troops. Over the radio, Price contacts Makarov over an open frequency, leading to this gem of a conversation.
Makarov, this is Price. Shepard's a war hero now. He's got your operations playbook and he's got a blank check. Listen, give me what you got, Shepard, and I'll take care of the rest. You can hear me on this channel, Makarov. You and I both know you won't last a week. And neither will you. Makarov, you ever hear the old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Price, one day you're going to find that cuts both ways. Shepard is using Site Hotel Bravo. You know where it is. I'll see you there.
Looking forward to it. Give my regards to Zakhaev if you get there first.
After Soap and Price make it to the airstrip, they finally manage to get exfil from Nikolai via driving a technical into a cargo hold.
We got one good UMP. They've got 1,000. We don't even know if Makarov's intel's any good. Price? Price?
The healthy human mind doesn't wake up in the morning thinking this is its last day on Earth. But I think that's a luxury, not a curse. To know you're close to the end is a kind of freedom. Good time to take inventory. Outgunned, outnumbered, out of our minds on a suicide mission. But the sand and rocks here, stained with thousands of years of warfare, they will remember us for this. Because out of all our vast array of nightmares, this is the one we choose for ourselves. We go forward like a breath exhaled from the earth, with vigor in our hearts and one goal in sight. We will kill him.
Finally, to avenge Ghost and Roach and bring an end to Shepard's madness, Soap and Price decide to partake in a duo suicide mission to infiltrate a Shadow Company stronghold that Makarov had informed Price about while fighting through the Boneyard. Price and Soap fight through the caves of the base as Shepard shows all of his true colors, bombing his own men to prevent them from reaching him. The duo push through, however, reaching a speedboat to chase Shepard to a dead-end waterfall in the river, shooting down the helicopter that attempted to extract Shepard. After Soap wakes up from nearly drowning at the bottom of the waterfall, he pulls out his knife and begins hunting down Shepard. Stumbling through the wreckage and barely staying on his feet, Soap finally gets to him. This amazing ending plays out, and I'll just let it roll.
Years ago, I lost 30,000 men in the blink of an eye. And the world just fucking watched. Tomorrow, there will be no shortage of volunteers, no shortage of patriots. I know you understand.
Soap. Soap.
Hold for now. Come on, get up.
I thought I told you this was a one-way trip.
Looks like it still is. They'll be looking for us, you know.
Nikolai, we gotta get Soap out of here.
I know a place.
So, as you could tell, Shepard's actions seemed to be directly involved with his grief of the nuclear detonation in COD 4. He wanted to be a war hero and restore his own image, and nothing was a cost too high to do so, including eliminating the most elite task force on the planet to prevent his true colors from being shown to the world. In the end, he died a traitor, and Soap and Price live on for a third installment in the series that I unfortunately will not be getting into in this video. Overall, this game has so many subplot connections and such deep lore that I have always been so impressed with how this is even a Call of Duty game. Yes, it's cinematic and sometimes Hollywood-like, but the storyline is so in-depth and it's nothing compared to what we get from AAA titles nowadays. I said it at the beginning of the video and I'll say it again, Infinity Ward absolutely knocked this one out of the park. It's everything a sequel should be and more. The consequences of the events in COD 4 were directly connected to every event in Modern Warfare 2, and it seemed to be entirely thought out through and through to create an impactful, immersive, and entertaining experience for gamers. Modern Warfare 2, to this day, is still one of, if not the most beloved installment in Call of Duty history, and there's a reason for that. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. If you want to leave a like, subscribe for more content like this, or just comment down below your thoughts on Modern Warfare 2, I would love to hear it, and I appreciate all the support. I love you all. Thanks for watching. DGen out.